Greetings, automotive enthusiasts. Today we bring to you the most amazing car in our nearly 30-year history. In terms of mileage and condition, this is the nicest vehicle that we've ever had come in. This is a 1985 Buick Riviera. The last year for this car was built from 79 to 85, but the incredible thing about this car, it has 2,778 original miles on it. Had 2,771 when I got it, so we put just a few miles on it, driving around, taking pictures, and so on and so forth. But this car, I mean, I've used the word time capsule before, but now I kind of, that term becomes a little bit redundant with other cars, because if there was ever such a thing as a time capsule, it's this car right here. It's a one-owner car. I actually picked it up from the original owner who bought it brand new in 85. I actually have the original title, and we took it out of his garage. And I've even got a little video clip of the car when we pulled it out and fired it up. I cannot believe this thing fired. The battery almost gave up, but it actually fired up under its own power. Unbelievable. Little cobweb hanging off the back there. Look at that, Becky. Oh my gosh, it is literally idling. Look at the cobwebs. Look at the cobwebs on the right side. Oh my gosh, but listen to it. I mean, it just settled into a perfect idle. That's truly, I mean, from a condition and miles standpoint, this is the most incredible car we've ever had. I mean, there's no doubt about it. This is the most incredible car from a miles and condition. Wow. Yep, little indicators. 1985 Becky Buick Riviera. Let's load this thing up with care. So what was amazing is he had a battery tender on the car, and it hadn't been started, I don't know how many years, but when he parked it, he filled the car completely full of fuel, put fuel stabilizer in it, put the battery on a tender, overinflated the tires, you know, just did everything that he could do to preserve the car. So what's interesting is, you know, this wasn't static, you know, for 30 years or something like that. He would take it to the dealer regularly for service, have the fluids flushed and changed, you know, and just chassis grease. There's lots of maintenance on the Carfax. Carfax kind of starts in 99 on this car. And so he took it out, you know, and occasionally, and drove it, and then you know, and then just took it to the dealer and had it serviced, and then parked it in his climate control garage. Really fascinating story. I asked him, I said, why did you not drive this car? And he says, well, I was just busy working. He says he was just working a whole lot of hours, and he bought the car. I have the original window sticker of this car. It's amazing that the window sticker on this car was over $20,000 in 1985. So, and then he had the car, and then it was such nice condition that he bought a second car to drive just to keep the miles off of this car, because it was kind of his pride and joy. Pretty amazing. So we're gonna zoom in on this car and go over the details. So this car is pretty much as new. They're really, I mean, there's only a couple little minor things. I mean, you can search this car over, and there's only a couple little things to note. The hood is perfect. There are no issues, no dings, no scratches on this car. When we got the car in, it had, you know, a lot of years of dust on it. I washed it. The first photo gallery of this car is just after a washing. It's not even after a detailing. And then I had Van Gogh, they did a clay bar on it, and then you know, their paint correction process on this car, and absolutely, oh my God, just transformed this car. I say transformed it, I mean, it looked good before, but when you rubbed your hand on it, you know, you could feel a grittiness to the paint. It's just years of dust kind of had embedded itself into the paint a little bit. but Van Gogh took and cleaned it all off, and now it is smooth as glass. It is just silky smooth. I love it. So the hood, you can see, is perfect there. I mean, even these fillers, I mean, most of these fillers, obviously the car just sat in the garage, so really hasn't had any exposure. But even with age, those things get old and brittle, but you know, the fillers are original and new. The bumpers are basically perfect. Go ahead and show you the bumper here. I had some fun. I put the car up on the lift and had a little bit of fun getting the never dull out and used my old military skills and polishing it up here. So that's just a bug right there. Yeah, been driving it around, so got a little bug on it, but basically flawless. Now let's show the headlights. Headlight assemblies are perfect. And this waterfall grille is absolutely gorgeous. So this basically is the same car. The Oldsmobile Tornado, the Cadillac Eldorado, and the Riviera are basically the same car with different styling, but by a long shot, the Riviera, in my opinion, is the most beautiful of the three. This is kind of a neat feature here. See, they got this big grille and they figured it was kind of vulnerable, so they actually hinged the grille. You see, it actually hinged it, so if you bumped it, you didn't break the grille. The grille is perfect. There's our emblem here. Headlights are perfect. All of the plastics, the lenses, everything. Impact strip. I mean, I guess there's a, I mean, that just looks like actually factory flaw. I don't even think that's counts as a flaw. Impact strips are perfect. Bumper's perfect. Got our little turn signal indicators here. Got our Riviera hood emblem. Beautiful. Got the birds chirping in the background. It's kind of nice. Beautiful evening here. Little turn indicator. Okay, let's look at the corner here. Alright, so we got the front filler is nice. You can see right there. Bumper ends, has the little lighted turn indicators. This car has basically every option you can imagine on it. I don't know if there's any option that it doesn't have that was available. Looking down the side of the car, the fender, pinstriping, everything about it is basically perfect. Riviera. So on the emblems all the way around the car, so I think what a person might have to do is take them off and clean them up, but there's a little bit of I don't really know what you'd call it. It's just the environment kind of attacked the plastics or whatever the coating is on that. Haven't really got aggressive cleaning on that, but there's a little bit of some, I don't know, wouldn't call it corrosion. I'm not sure you'd call it there on the emblems. Here's the stainless steel around the fender. Perfect. And the wheel covers are perfect. These are the original Uniroyal Royal Seal tires. They didn't even make these tires after the 80s. And what's really amazing is, like I said, these are the original tires. And I'll show you something kind of interesting. If you look in there, you'll actually see the original chalk, the little colored, just colored dye that they had in the treads, and you can see that that's basically full tread depth minus 2,700 miles. And I'll get the car up in the air and do a full tour underneath on the lift. We're not going to just crawl underneath of it. We're going to actually give you a full on the lift tour on this car. It's pretty much immaculate underneath. The car is perfect. The windshield is perfect. No flaws, no pits, no chips. There's not a rock chip on this car. This gentleman was so meticulous with this car. Looking at the door here. No door dings, no chips, no issues. I love that stainless steel. I did the polishing on the stainless steel myself also. I really kind of had fun going to town with the Never Dull. Look in here, this is just a little water spot here. There we go, little water drainage. You know, after washing the car, you get little drips that continue to come down. Riviera emblem. The soft top, or I'm sorry, the vinyl top there is perfect, and it's still just as soft and supple. Yeah, just as soft and supple as it was when it's brand new. The roof is flawless. All of the trim is flawless. You can kind of see that roof there in that light. It's kind of a nice ambient lighting here. You should be able to see pretty well. The quarter panel, the side moldings. There's not a door ding or indentation one on this car. Trim is perfect. Here is the rear wheel and wheel cover and tire. And what's interesting here, you can see on these rear tires, because it's front wheel drive, but you can see where it's literally just worn the nipples off. You can still see the little raised part of the nipple. But yeah, literally it just wore past the nipple. And the deck lid is perfect. I'll kind of show you the whole deck lid, and then we'll go around and show you the lower section of the car. And the lights. Again, we have some of that corrosion there, or whatever you want to call it, on the emblems. It's pretty much just on the plastic emblems. Some sort of reaction with the environment and the climate. The tail light is perfect. Again, the plastics, no key scratches around the hole. It is immaculate. Tail light is perfect. Fillers are perfect. Rear bumper, like I said, I polished these rear bumpers, all the chrome personally myself, so I was able to really focus on it, and I don't recall seeing any flaws whatsoever. And even the impact strip is perfect, and even the little bumper overriders. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Looking here on the right quarter panel, it is perfect. And they are plastic. Again, some of that little bit of whatever that is. Rear quarter panel is perfect. Okay, right rear wheel cover. And we have the original, these have a lock for the wheel cover. And so we have the original, we have the actual factory wheel cover locking tool to remove those. Got the original title, got the original window sticker. Looking down the door here, it is perfect, no issues. And my stainless steel polish job on the bottom. No scratches around the keyhole. No issues around the mirror. Again, the same theme all the way around the car. I think you just live with that. I don't think you want to, unless you could find brand new emblems. That's the only thing I would do, is just buy new emblems if you could find them. Then you'd have to be really careful getting them off. Perfect wheel cover. Tires are perfect. So the antenna here, the gentleman told me that there was some sort of issue in the antenna. He didn't remember what it was, so it's unplugged. And so I turned the radio on and plugged it in, and the motor runs. But what's happened is the little plastic cord has broken. So the motor runs, and then you can operate the antenna manually, but the power cord, and when it came up, and then the cord's hitting, so this was flush, but now it's up a little bit. I haven't messed with it, but so it needs an antenna mast, but it does operate and function. And so I did unplug the antenna back the way it was, because the motor wants to run because it's not parked. There's the roof there. These emblems are in good shape. All right. and then the right fender without flaw. All right, let's go ahead and pop the hood on this guy real quick. Okay, we got the hood open, and here's the hood pad underneath. It doesn't, you can't clean those, but it doesn't really get much nicer than that. You definitely just leave it as it is. But you can see around the hood there that it's just as new as it rolled off the assembly line, the hood. Now, I do want to make a note here. So this engine bay that you're seeing right now, this is not detailed. I basically, when I washed the car, I took the pressure washer and I sprayed the dust off because it had a little bit of layer of dust on it. So I sprayed the dust off, and then I took a air blower, I blew the water off, and then I just wiped it with a rag. And this is how the engine bay is. Check this out. We got a little sticker here, 2,738 miles. That was one of the coolant flushes, coolant system flush. So this coolant has been serviced and flushed its whole life along with the oil. Check out the little fiber optic leads going to the turn signal. That's cool, I just noticed that. But looking in here at the engine, it is absolutely pristine. And the oil was changed in 13 and then parked. So there's literally, you know, no miles on the oil, but it is from 13. So I'm going, but then look at that, it's perfect. That oil is from 2013. But we're taking this car to the Wizard, and I'm gonna, so the only thing that doesn't really work on this car is the AC has lost its charge. So we're gonna take the car to the car wizard, Omega Auto Clinic, and he's going to check out the AC system. We'll probably go ahead and change the oil again, just due to age, I guess. I mean, it hasn't been started, it hasn't been anything, but I don't know, I'll see what the wizard says about that. But completely original underneath the hood here. There's our little air ride pump, and what's really cool is the every time you get in the car, you know, and then it goes and it says air ride leveling, and the light comes on and you hear the little pump run occasionally. So that's pretty cool. Little sticker there. There's our factory. It's got the 5-liter V8 in it. We put a, the battery actually started the car, but it was weak from age. So we put a brand new Interstate battery in it. We didn't want to put a cheap battery in it, so put a brand new Interstate in it. And we put the best one they had there, 700 cold cranking amps. Look at this. Just look at the, I'm gonna zoom in here. Look at the belts. I mean, this is a time capsule car. Normally, you know, we take a car like this and we would put new belts on it, new hoses, new tires, but this car falls into a little bit different category, kind of category, honestly, that I'm not really as used to. So I don't want to overdo anything, you know, I don't want to mess with this car because somebody might want to put this in some sort of collection or museum or something like that. So they're going to want it, you know, original as it rolled off the assembly line. So, you know, and the tires, I mean, they're not dry rotted. You know, I wouldn't take this car out of town and drive it on the highway just for the fear of, you know, number one, I mean, these tires are irreplaceable. You know, if you're going to show and display it, it's really cool to show it on the original tires. But, you know, there's always a chance that a tire could separate and come apart, and that would just be absolutely horrific to have a tire come apart and then damage the body of this car. So if you're going to drive this car, pull these tires off and save them. Do not discard them, save them, because they're part of the documentation and part of the history of the car. So, but if you're going to drive it, obviously put some new tires on it. You can't really see in there, but if it's just going to, you know, take it to car shows and put it around town like that, you know, these tires are perfectly fine. The coolant even looks good. It's nice and green. I'll have the wizard check it out. Look at the hoses. Absolutely perfect. And there's not not even any leaks on this car. When I get it up in the air on the lift, you'll see what I'm talking about. It is phenomenal. It's funny because on the Carfax it shows, that the chassis was greased, all the time. So they greased the chassis, and then they actually sprayed, like WD-40 or something on it, right? To like just keep a nice coating of oil and everything so that it didn't rust or anything. So it was kind of interesting to get into this car and see it wet in areas, and it's not leaking. It's just when they lubed it and serviced it, they did that just for preservation deals. So that's kind of interesting. All right, let's take a look at the interior. All right, here's a bird's eye view of the interior here, and I'll take pictures and stuff at different lighting and try to give you the so you'll see this in the video, but then you might go to the picture gallery for detailed close-up pictures. But this interior is basically brand new. And look along the threshold molding and the carpets. What's really interesting is I stick my head in here. The one thing, it's really a shame that this obviously doesn't come across in a video, but when you stick your head in this car, the smell, it smells like dealer showroom 1985. It is absolutely, it's everybody that's looked in this car, even without me saying anything, everybody that's looked at this car has just commented like, oh my God, this thing smells incredible. And that is true. It smells perfect. The seats are absolutely perfect. No wear in them at all. Seat belts. Really cool steering wheel. It's like they took the steering wheel off like the Grand National or something. Kind of a really cool, put that sporty steering wheel in here. Looking here at the carpets, they are absolutely perfect. And like I said, we'll get some lights and we'll get close-up photos. But the pedal, look, there's zero wear. A little dirt from my feet, but there's zero wear on these pedals, as expected for 3,000 miles. Yeah, we got our little crotch chiller. That's always kind of nice. Okay, here's the miles, 2778. And you'll see here that literally it is just absolutely perfect. The dash is perfect. Not a single crack. Everything's still nice and soft. The steering wheel's soft. There's not even a fingernail mark on that steering wheel. The gauges are perfect. Door panels, window switches, everything works. So here's our seat. Forward, backward, tilt, tilt. So you can see that. Go ahead and flip the seat forward here. We got our pockets in the back and they're nice. And then we got I love this wood trim in this car and the brushed stainless look. Rear seats are perfect. Don't even ever look like they've been set in. And the rear carpets. There's factory floor mats are in the trunk, along with basically he had the factory floor mats down, and then he had what looks to me like basically like bath mats on top of the floor mats. He was just that meticulous. Here's our stickers here. We'll go around to the other side. GM protection plan. All right. Big old doors. But there's the door panel, bird's eye view. Zoom in here on the door panel, but look at this felt here, and it's just, there's zero dirt. People rest their arms on there and get sweat and dirt. Not on this car. The wood trim is perfect. Window switches, everything there. Here again, we got power seats. Back and forth, tilt, tilt, and then here's our backrest. Pretty cool, huh? Look at our carpet. And one thing I actually want to tell you about this interior is I have not cleaned this interior. This interior, I have not even vacuumed it. I literally pulled the floor mats out of the car, and this is what you see. Did not vacuum it there. I have not put anything in this interior at all other than just cleaning the windows. See the back little map pocket, rear seats, and go ahead and pop this down for you. Let you see it. All the seat belts are back here. There's our little armrest. Put it back up. Little map lights. So the only flaw to this interior here, I'll show you. So there are little pockets of where the foam has broken down, and you can see there's several little pockets of the headliner that is kind of coming loose. Here's the visors. They look really nice actually, but just the foam deteriorates over time and age. I mean, there's nothing, I mean, there's zero, I mean, if this car does it, there's not such a thing as a car that doesn't do it, because there's nothing you can do about that. And like I said, I'm not gonna change it, and I don't even think anybody would change it just because of the originality of the car. So you can kind of see that. But that's pretty much the only flaw. The only way I would, and you can't get a new one. I'm sure that's not an option. That would be the only thing I would ever do, is if you could get a new original one. But that's not gonna be the case. There's some sweat on there from me leaning on it. It's pretty warm out here today. So there is our armrest. And then a really cool little center console right here. Very cool little console. And then we got our glove box. We'll slide in here, open up the glove box. There's our trunk release. Oh. And then in here we've got, actually, here is the original window sticker. So I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna go across the top so you can see all of that. Okay. And then I'm going to go down the left column. I'm going to go down the right column. So you can see that. There's our stickers. $20,234. And we'll show you the bottom column here. Original window sticker. And then we've got all the manuals and the books and everything. Original material. All goes with the car. Factory manual right there. So very cool. Very neat stuff. What a machine. Oh, there's our vanity mirror. That works. Check the other side. And no mirror. See, look, when I touch that, see, it leaves a mark in it. So I need to quit that. There's just nothing you can do about it. Just the foam deteriorates. But you can see that dash is perfect. Here's our climate controls. I'm gonna go ahead and pop the key in here and kind of light it up. Kind of losing some light here, but that's actually kind of cool though. So there we go. I'm gonna turn that to low, but climate control works and everything. We just got to get the AC charged. But here is our radio. Let's try to find something here. Actually, it sounds really good too. Don't leave that playing too long. Go ahead and fire the key up and you'll see it. Look at that. I didn't do anything. Didn't even touch the throttle pedal. Go ahead and turn that off. And go ahead and turn the lights on. I love to see the 80s lighting. So cool. Just really love that. Look how it has the little lights underneath the dash. Look at that. That's really cool. I would not have noticed that if I hadn't done this tonight. How cool is that? Oh my God. And it said the steering wheel is perfect. Okay, we got the trunk popped here. Here are the original mats. So there's the rear mat. I'll just kind of set him to the ground here and hope I don't walk off and forget him. There's the other rear mat, uncleaned. So even that, like these are Here's the bath mats. He had bath mats down on every piece of the car. Now here is, I'm going to do it this side. So here is the front carpet, again uncleaned, and we'll flip that over, show you the other side. Look at that, a little bit of soil on there, but I'll probably go ahead and clean it up a little bit just because I like to do that kind of stuff. But you can see how virtually zero dirt and wear. We'll get this last bath mat out, and here is our trunk. Here's our stickers. There's our spare. There's our options. Little list there. This little bracket here was on top of the rear tag holder. It's like a secondary tag holder. I left that there. The trunk is perfect. Imagine that. Here is the spare. I haven't even pulled that back. And of course, it's unused. See this green right here? That's what I was telling you is still present on the Uniroyals. That's still, whatever that's all about, I don't even know why that's there, but you can still see the color in the original tires. There is zero question about this car's authenticity as far as miles. People are going to try to say, oh, it's 100 and turned over, but it's not. I mean, number one, I bought it from the original owner, so he told me the whole story of the car, but just everything lines up, and there is zero question on this car. Actually, I'm going to put the stuff back in the trunk and do a little walk around with the lights on. It's kind of cool. So here's just another final little walk around with the lights on. It just looks so beautiful right now. I just had to give it another walk over. It just looks so cool. Sitting here running, and you can hear it absolutely runs perfect. So kind of cool to give you this little view too. Love these taillights. Look at those taillights. So pretty. Little R lit up in there. How cool is that? Just look at it, would you? Just look at it. All right. Well, that concludes the overview tour. Let's do the best part and let's jump in this thing and take it for a drive. All right, we're strapped into the Riviera. Let's go take it for a spin. This is time capsule nostalgia at its finest. So here's the radio here. Yeah, actually sounds really good. So yeah, we're just kind of rolling on here. Basically, what's really amazing about this car is, you know, how few miles that it has. A lot of times when you have cars with no miles like that, you know, you've just got a lot of issues, and it takes a lot to bring it back. But this car is really an exception because this gentleman just completely kept up with the maintenance and kept up with everything on the car. Had the fluids changed, kept the battery on a tender. I mean, it just, I was blown away literally when I pulled it out of the, you know, pulled it out of his garage, you know, and it fired up, hooked the battery up and it fired up. That just kind of blew my mind. But sitting on the original tires, so we're actually going to get up here on the highway and we'll do just a little short run. We'll get it up to about 50 or 60 miles an hour. But like I said, I mean, if you plan on putting this car into service, you're going to want to put new tires on it, but keep the originals. But if you're going to keep it and, you know, preserve it just like it is, you know, car shows and all that stuff, it's really cool to keep them the same there. Got a little, what do you think about this thing, David? I got my main man David with me here right now.
Yeah, there's nothing like this.
Yeah. How do you describe the smell of this car?
It just smells like vintage leather. I don't even know. It just smells old school.
Yeah, right? I mean, I just envision like literally walking into a Buick dealer in 1985 and sliding in the seat.
Oh yeah, it would smell like this.
It does.
Everyone.
Yeah. And it just floats. It's got that torsion bar front suspension. So, all right, we'll get it up on the highway here. Definitely take care of merging. So, okay, this is the first time I've had it up to this speed. Look at my fingers here. This is what's crazy. I'm doing 60 miles an hour. How is it possible that these tires are not shaking violently? Look at my fingers. This is the first time I've had it up to this speed. It's crazy. I mean, I wouldn't do any sustained runs just because of the risk of, you know, I mean, it just, they're 30-year-plus old tires. So, what are they, over 35 years old? What is that? Geez, we're talking, holy cow. I graduated in 87. This is an 85. So it's like 37, 38-year-old tires.
Yeah.
That is crazy. It just, you know, he kept them aired up and he, you know, moved the car around, started it, ran it. So, well, this one's not one that we throw around the corner. This one's the one we just cruise in. But the car actually absolutely drives perfectly. Like I said, the antenna has its little issue, and then the, you know, we're gonna take it to the wizard and have him do an inspection on it, see what it needs, and have him get the AC going. The climate control works and everything. And, you know, I took some really cool pictures and all that stuff, and you saw that on the video, on the walk around video. You kind of saw some cool shots of that. So, but yeah, well, let's kick her down and see what it does. It goes pretty good. You know, that's probably the best thing that this car could need, right? Is a couple little full throttle accelerations. I saw a little black, little like fuel, you know, a little black soot out the back, and I think it's happy kind of blowing the cobwebs out.
It just got cleared out.
That's probably the first thing this thing's been floored in its entire life.
Probably. It's recorded.
Yeah. But transmission shifts perfectly. I mean, it's 2,781 miles, so I mean, there's literally nothing to, there's nothing more out on the car. But yeah, just a fantastic car. Absolutely love it. Oh, let me check the cruise control. Yep, cruise just kicked in, David. We're going around. This is our fun little sports car turn, but not one that I want to rail in this car necessarily, with the type of car it is and the tires. Yeah, the cruise control works, windows. I don't think there's anything I haven't checked. The only thing that doesn't work is the power antenna, and it works. It just needs a new mast and a new cord. Wow, I could totally daily drive this car.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, what do you do? This car is a conundrum. I mean, it's so low miles that, I mean, it really is museum quality. I mean, I wouldn't say it belongs in a museum, because I like to drive my cars, and you know, I kind of really hate to see any car just relegated to just static art. I hope this car goes to somebody with a collection of Buicks, and then they take it to car shows and take it out once a month, take it to dinner. I hope it goes to somebody like that, because if I kept this car, I would just drive it. I would continue to drive it. I wouldn't daily drive it. It'd be tempting to daily drive. But you think about what this car, you know, the potential value and the price this car may go for. I would rather have this car than, well, any brand new car of this level would be like, you know, 2-3 times the price anyway. But if you think about, you know, the value of this car, the potential that it brings, you know, you want this car or a new Hyundai. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, I would totally rock this car. Oh, and the seats are so comfortable. That is awesome. Well, this car's gotten some use. It's gotten taken around the block, and it's just happy. It absolutely purrs. It does not miss a beat. I mean, you would surely think that like the injectors would be kind of sticky, or you know, just, you know, like fuel system would have something built up in it, but it absolutely runs just like basically back in 1985. I mean, there's nothing about this car that stands out, you know, other than obviously new tires would make it ride better, you know, even just from a technology standpoint. But there is just nothing in this car that stands out, you know, any issue at all. Just an amazing machine. Absolutely beautiful. Well, hey, I appreciate you guys riding along with us. Look us up on the internet, EuroAsianAuto.com, EuroAsianAuto on Facebook. And be sure to hit that notifications button, like and subscribe. That way when we load up a new car, you're one of the first people to see it, because you never know when we might have your next dream car. Have a great day and happy motoring. All right, we got the Buick up on the lift, and we'll go ahead and do this thing from front to back. This car is absolutely, I mean, other than just some, you know, dirt from age, you know, I mean, this car's from 1985, you know, and has been driven 2,000 miles, but it is basically completely amazing under here. So here's our suspension areas. Axle boots are good. Ball joints are good. Looks like they've been greased up. I mean, he basically took it, you know, to the dealer and had it serviced regularly and then drove it home. So all the ball joints are freshly greased. Look here to the other side. Look, we still got the cobwebs. I haven't cleaned underneath the here, you know, haven't pressure washed or anything like that. So we still got cobwebs here. Check out the tires actually, and you can see, you know, these are the original tires. Show you the other one here. You know, almost full tread depth. Well, they got 2,700 miles on them, so barely any miles on it. Coming over here, there's our axle boots are good. Ball joints are good. So you know, what'd be neat is to take one of those dry ice cleanings to this car, because you could basically like make this car look literally assembly line fresh, because it's what it is. But there are no leaks on this car. Boots are good. Get down kind of low here. There's our oil pan, transmission pan, torsion rod suspension, and you can see it's got some old grease around there. Coming on back here, you know, like I said, and then this car had some sort of undercoating on it, so you can see that kind of copperish looking coating here and there. You kind of see it on the torsion bar there. There's your original green, there's your original sticker. I mean, look at that. The stickers are still original. Unbelievable. Coming back here, like I said, I mean, this is a zero rust car. There is not a speck of rust on this thing. There's our transmission pan. Looking at the back side of the suspensions, like you can see, the grease looks pretty old, but yeah, it's definitely there. Back side of this suspension. Car runs and drives like new, not a squeak, not a rattle one. I mean, I've had a lot of cars that I've called time capsules before, but this sets the bar to a whole new level. Never had anything quite like this in 30 years. This is the most amazing car we've ever had, coming, you know, as far as miles and condition go. I'm looking around for stuff, and again, you can see that undercoating there. That was kind of sprayed all over the car. I think there's a sticker on the car too, it kind of shows it. But you know, we still got, like I said, we still got the cobwebs. I'm not really gonna detail, you know, I'm not gonna really go any further underneath here. I mean, I said it's pristine, so, I mean, unless you were gonna put it in some sort of show, I mean, I guess you could take and detail the undercarriage, but I wanna kind of show it, you know, how we got it. I wanna show how honest this car is, how legitimate. See, there's our cobwebs. Looks like some of the undercoating on the tire. So that pretty much definitely dates the tire to the car. There's our backing plates. Rear springs, still got the paper tags on the rear springs. More cobwebs. Brakes are perfect. Here's the back tires. Look at that. You can see where the nipples have just rubbed off. Here's the other back tire. Wow. Kudos to this gentleman for preserving this car, because it is a time capsule. I mean, if there was ever such a thing as a Buick Riviera collection or museum, this car belongs in it. I find a nicer one than this. Again, see, there's that undercoating sprayed over everything. Didn't really matter though, because he didn't drive it. All right, well, I'll kind of give you a drop down here and give you a little. Let me try to see if I can walk this off here, and we'll just kind of go ahead and do a little pan by. And there you go, underneath tour.